Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sree. Iyer. General Ravi Shankar is joining us today. We take a look at Balochistan, a country probably that is going to declare itself as an independent nation, but there's always this but that lingers around some country formations. We're going to take a look at it. What does it take to form a country? And does Balochistan meet those demands? And this is going to be our topic. It's slightly different than saying that this happened. We're taking a little bit of a leap into the future, if you will, trying to look at how the future holds for our beloved Baloch brothers and sisters. Let's welcome General Ravi Shankar. General Ravi Shankar, namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you?
Namaskar and thanks a lot, Shreyarji, for inviting me over once again. Of course, it's a joint podcast. All those people who are joining us from Ghana Short also welcome. Baluchistan is on the boil.
And, yes, indeed. General Ravi Shankar, you and I talked about this, I think, a little bit yesterday when we were discussing or nailing down the topic. You said that much of the activity that is happening now in Quetta or in and around Quetta is perhaps not just Balochistan or the BRAS alliance, but it probably is getting help from other actors who are also based in Pakistan. So, given that there is all these things happening, that gives us a hint, essentially, for the existence of the Balochistan as a separate nation. It gives us a hint. So that's what I'm hoping that, our viewers will pick up. I'll let you, you have a slide deck also. Over to you, sir.
At the outset, I must tell you that at this point of time, there are a lot of problems in Baluchistan. Balochistan is a place where Pakistan doesn't exist. I'm making this statement. Okay, Pakistan doesn't exist at this point of time. Also, a lot of things happening. The easiest way to say is, look, Balochistan doesn't have population, so it can't become a state. That's being the fundamental thing. To a large extent, it's true, but you never know how nations are made and not made. We'll get that to the end, but you should know what's happening. What are the intricacies of the story called Baluchistan? That's why I asked, Shreyarji in the morning, have you done a show on Baluchistan in serious? No, we did a show when the Jaffar Express, the firing took place and all that. So I said, okay, then I'll take time and put in a presentation where you understand what is happening. So I'll just come in between. I'm going to let Baluch people speak to you. I'm not going to talk much. I'll put the things together, but I'll get the Baluchis to speak to you, what it is, what are the personalities there, everything. And then you'll understand what I'm talking of. And then we'll see in the end, is the nation being made or unmade? Right? Because if Baluchistan is made, Pakistan is unmade. That's the fundamental thing you have to remember in this whole story. Okay. So with this, I also welcome all Baluch brothers of mine who have been with me. My special, thanks to Bahut Baluch, whom I interviewed. And, we'll come along with it. So let's start with the presentation, right? And you'll understand what it is. See, at this point of time, Pakistan is on the ropes as Baluchistan boils and China has entered the fray. So at the macro level, there are three actors in this game. We'll discuss all three as we go along. The first thing, and this is a favorite thing which I've made this quotation for myself, and I keep saying every day. Baluchistan can survive without Pakistan. Can Pakistan survive without Baluchistan is the question at hand. If you seriously see, it can't. Okay? For many reasons. Right. The second important thing, this is something you have to understand. This is an underlying factor which will drive Baluchistan to its independence if at all it achieves. There is no home in Baluchistan which has not lost a member to the Pakistan army or the state. Just take the slide off. I think we should first understand this sentiment. I was listening to someone yesterday, 2 days back. So that man says, बलूचिस्तान में हर एक घर से कोई ना कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति है जो मिसिंग है, लापता है. Enforced disappearances, lifted ये वो. To the extent people don't know whether a brother or a husband or a son or a father is coming back. They don't have a clue. They just keep waiting. Every house in Baluchistan, this is the thing. And what's interesting is every time a body is recovered from wherever and brought to a civil hospital or morgue, that's what it happens, isn't it? A dead body is recovered. People go and form a line out there. कतार लगता है उस लाश को पहचानने के लिए ये है कौन, कहीं मेरा भाई तो नहीं है, कहीं मेरा बेटा तो नहीं है, कोई मेरा चाचा तो नहीं है, या मेरा शोहर तो नहीं है. I hope you understood. That is the state of desperation in people. And you'll see as I go along, the Baluchistan movement, the human rights movement, is led by ladies. They are the leaders. Now, when a woman comes out of the home and gets onto the street, then, well, you know what will happen, right? Okay, let's get the presentation back.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what it is. Now, just to give a broad understanding, Balochistan is an unnatural state because of the reason that at independence, this green part called Kalat, Lasbela, Makaran, and Karkan. These Karan. They're all not part of Pakistan. They all acceded to Pakistan at some point of time. Kalat was the last. It had independence for exactly 226 days. On the 227th day, Jinnah and his army entered and took over Baluchistan. The next thing is Gwadar. Gwadar is here, okay, and Makaran. Gwadar and Makaran were part of Oman. They were not part of Pakistan till about 1950s, mid-50s. When they were sold, or rather Oman was forced to sell it to Pakistan at a nominal rate, thanks to those shopkeepers of the world, Brits. And then this was all given so that Pakistan could have a state. So this was never part of Pakistan. Okay, and ever since then, Pakistan has gone through cycles of movements where they've Baluchistan has gone through cycles of movements where they've wanted independence. But I'll not go into that history. That's for a different day. It's rich in minerals is an understatement. If you look at this entire thing, it gives you a clear idea. There's gold, there's copper, there's everything. And add to that is the fact that Gwadar is a major port. We'll talk of Gwadar much later. Okay, it's a deep sea port and it's being developed with Chinese help. And Gwadar is the flagship of the CPEC. Okay, next. Balochistan occupies 44% of Pakistan, but only 7% of the population. What is 7% of 250 million? You can count for your. It's not even 7%, it's actually 6.8%. It's the most neglected and poverty-ridden state. Politically insignificant, it has only 20 seats out of the 266 seats in their assembly. Pakistan National Assembly. Enforced disappearances have been legion for the past 70 years. Not now, 70 years. So there's an inbuilt anger here. So far that anger didn't manifest itself, but now it is. So far this area was tribal in nature. And the tribal sardars controlled various areas, Marris and Buktis, Mengals. You would have heard these other. There are about 23 odd sardars who control that entire area. So if you bought the sardars away, you could do everything. And that's what the Pakistanis did earlier. Now the thing has changed because the boys are educated, smart. They say, to hell with this Sardar business. I'm educated. I'm an engineer. I'll do what I want. I'll do it for the sake of Baluch people. And there's also a feeling that, look, if I don't do what I don't take the gun, I'll anyway get killed by the Pakistan army. So I might as well die fighting for my independence. That's the motive. Okay. Now the exploitation of resources by China and Pakistan is deeply resented by the Baluch people. Like I said, today there's a fifth wave of insurgency on. Okay. Now, this is Maharang Baloch. Maharang Baloch is a doctor by profession. And her father was one of those people who've been polished off by the Pakistan army. And ever since she's a young girl, she's been fighting for the rights of the Baluch people. Oh, how? And she's been nominated for the Nobel Prize, incidentally. So what I'll do is I'll play this thing and hear it. Hear the anger in her voice, one, and two, the issues she's bringing up. I told you, no, I want you people to understand, whoever is seeing, to understand Baluchistan from the people of Baluchistan. Okay? So here we go.
Sir, hold on. Please, stop. Before we start this video, a small request to all of you who are watching this video, whether it is Ganeshot or P Gurus, to please like this video. This needs to go far, and this is a very important part of this presentation. I would really appreciate it if all of you like this video. Can you back it up and then start from the beginning, please?
Yeah, we'll do that, no problem.
Yeah.
वहां पर आपके इतने बड़े बड़े जो आप ये माइक्स और कैमरे उठा के लाते हो ना, वहां पे कोई नहीं आता है, ठीक है ना। बलूचिस्तान के दूर दराज इलाकों में जब आपकी एफसी जो है ना औरतों को मारती है, जब आपकी एफसी ने ओशाब में 2 बच्चों पर गोला बारूद फेंके ना, वो न्यूज आप लोगों ने कभी नहीं दी। आप लोगों में से किसी भी मीडिया चैनल को मैं चैलेंज करती हूँ कि वो आए बलूचिस्तान में। आप लोगों में से कौन है जो जिसने तुर्बत देखा है, जिसने ओशाब देखा है, जिसने आवारान देखा है? आवारान में एंट्री आपको नहीं मिलेगी, आवारान में आपको वीजा लगा के जाना पड़ेगा। ये है वो बलूचिस्तान जिसको आप लोगों ने देखा नहीं है, जिसको आप लोगों ने सिर्फ और सिर्फ व्हाट्सएप के कॉपी पेस्ट बयानिए से जाकर जो है ना मैच किया हुआ है। उस बलूचिस्तान को देखने की आप में जरूरत नहीं है। अगर आप देखेंगे तो आप, मुझे यकीन है, अगर आपके अंदर इंसानियत है तो आपकी आंखें शर्म से डूब मरनी चाहिए। शर्म करें आप लोग कि आप लोगों ने एक कौम को 70 सालों से खून रेजी की है, 70 सालों से उसकी औरतों को नहीं बख्शा है, उसके मर्दों को नहीं बख्शा है। ये है वो आपकी रियासत की हकीकत। आप हमसे मुजम्मत करवा कर अपने रियासती जब्र को नहीं छुपा सकते। आप हमसे मुजम्मत करवा कर, सबसे पहले आया खान से जाकर मुजम्मत करवाए, सबसे पहले अपने सबसे बड़े हीरो जो मुशर्रफ है ना, उससे जाकर मुजम्मत करवाए कि उसने जो है ना एक 80 साल बुजुर्ग बुक्ति पर भी गोला बारूद मांगे, उसको भी मारा, ठीक है ना। जाए अपनी रियासत की मशीनरी से जो है ना मुजम्मत करवाए कि उन्होंने बलोचों की नस्ल कुशी क्यों की, वो आज भी नस्ल कुशी क्यों कर रहे हैं। ये आपकी रियासत की हकीकत है।
So you see the pain in her voice and
yes.
The issue brought up, okay, which is very severe. Okay, now let's go to the next picture, this thing. Get the slide back.
Yeah,
okay?
Just 1 second, sir. Just one second.
Please, sorry. I'll get it.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Bring up the next one, please. Because I'm not able to. Yeah.
No, I'll control.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
That's what she said. You can't go anywhere in Baluchistan. In a place like Avaran, if you go, you have to get the passport from Baluch people. And all those things. For the past 80 years, the killings, all that. What is the status today? This is Maulana Fazlur Rahman. He's not a joker. He's a very important figure in Pakistan politics. Okay? And this is a statement he has made on the floor of the Pakistan National Assembly. And listen to what he says. Okay? And very important to understand what he says.
जनाब स्पीकर, मेरे इलाके में ऐसे एरियाज हैं जिसको फौज ने भी खाली कर दिया है, पुलिस तो खाली कर चुकी थी। बता दूं आपको, ऐवान को बताना चाहता हूं, वो इलाके कि जो पुलिस तो खाली कर चुकी थी लेकिन फौज भी खाली कर चुकी है।
फौज भी खाली कर चुकी है।
जंग हो और पुलिस भी ना हो, اور فوج بھی نہ ہو تو وہ ایریا کس کے قبضے میں ہوگا اور وہاں کس کا ریٹ ہوگا؟ اور دل پہ ہاتھ رکھ کر مجھے کہنا پڑتا ہے، انتہائی درد دل کے ساتھ کہنا پڑتا ہے کہ اس وقت بلوچستان کے 5 سے 7 اضلاع اس پوزیشن میں ہیں کہ اگر وہ آزادی کا اعلان کر دیں تو اگلے دن اقوام متحدہ میں ان کی درخواست کو قبول. کہاں کھڑے ہیں ہم لوگ؟ میری گفتگو کو جذباتی گفتگو نہ سمجھا جائے، میں جذباتی باتیں نہیں کیا کرتا، لیکن حقائق تک پہنچنے کے لیے پارلیمنٹ کو بھی پہنچنا ہوگا اور حکومت کو بھی پہنچنا ہوگا.
وہاں پر آپ کے اتنے بڑے بڑے جو آپ یہ
Okay, right. You know, so that's the status. What Maulana Diesel, he is known as Maulana Diesel because he used to smuggle diesel across this Iran border. But he's a very shrewd player. He says there are places where there's no law. I mean, when I say there's no law, the Pakistani state doesn't have an existence there. And this statement was made about a couple of months back. The situation was that 5 to 6 province or tehsils or whatever you call, districts of Baluchistan could have declared independence, and they could do nothing about it. Now the situation has gone worse. Okay. Now we all know the Jaffar Attack Express. Okay. But before this Jaffar Attack Express, there was a series of incidents by the BLA and all that. What is that? I'll just come. So this Jaffar Attack incident is the one which has triggered the situation to what it is today. What happened? Jaffar Attack, the army couldn't react. 2 days later, there was an attack at Noshki. But before this, there were many cases when the Baluch Liberation Army carried out very sophisticated attacks on Pakistan army posts. Right? So from the Jaffar attack and all that, what happened next? Right. Now, this is a person called Bahut. Bahut put out in his tweet that, look, Baloch Sarmachars are carrying out attacks all around and all that, but that I'll come to later. I got in touch with him and I had a long interview with him, about 22 minutes. If you go to Ghana Shot, you can see those interviews. Put Baluchistan and you'll see those interviews completely. Okay. But I've extracted just about 5 minutes of that interview. Have a look at it because it's important to understand how the Baluch have looked at it. And this man is a reporter. He covers the conflict in total. Yeah.
بلوچستان میں گزشتہ 6 روز سے بڑے پیمانے پر صرف مظاہرے ہو رہے ہیں. یہاں پر پولیس کی جانب سے فائرنگ ہو رہی ہے, لوگ زخمی ہو رہے ہیں, گرفتاریاں ہو رہی ہیں. اتنی تعداد میں گرفتاریاں ہیں کہ ان کی پوری ڈیٹیلز ابھی تک نہیں مل رہی ہے کہ کہاں سے کتنے لوگوں کو اٹھایا جا رہا ہے. بہت کم لوگوں کی ابھی تک تفصیلات آ چکی ہیں. پھر بلوچ یکجہتی کمیٹی کی جو لیڈ کرنے والی ہے ڈاکٹر مارنگ ہے, گزشتہ روز سمیتی کو بھی انہوں نے کراچی سے گرفتار کی. اسی پہ تجزیے کر رہے تھے. لوگ ہمیں پوچھ رہے تھے ایز اے جرنلسٹ کہ آپ کیسے دیکھتے ہیں. دیکھیے, ہم تو یہ کہہ رہے تھے کہ یہاں پر بڑے پیمانے پر آپریشن وغیرہ اس طرح کی تیاری شاید کرے گی, لیکن بلوچستان میں تو آپریشن پچھلے 70 سالوں سے ہو رہے ہیں, مختلف شکلوں سے ہو رہے ہیں. لیکن اس کا انہوں نے مانا یہی نکالا کہ ہم بلوچ خواتین ہیں جو کہ ایکٹیوسٹ ہے, خاص کر ان پر جو ان کو بند کریں گی, تشدد کریں گی, سڑکوں پر گھسیٹیں گی. تو اس سے بالکل عام بندے سے ابھی آپ پوچھیں وہ یہی کہے گا کہ پاکستان فوج نے وہاں پر مار کھائی, اسی وجہ سے اپنا غصہ ہے, اپنا فرسٹریشن ہے وہ عام خواتین بچوں پر نکال رہے ہیں جو صرف اپنے رائٹس کی بات کرتے ہیں. تو بیسکلی بلوچ یکجہتی کمیٹی کا یہی ڈیمانڈز ہے کہ لوگوں کو اٹھانا بند کرو, ان کی مسخ شدہ لاشیں پھینکنا بند کرو, لوگوں کو ویرانوں میں یا کہ بغیر کسی شناخت کے ان کی دفن کرنا بند کرے. یہی ان کی ڈیمانڈز رہے ہیں. تو بلوچستان میں پچھلے دنوں سے یہی کچھ ہے کہ کوئٹہ میں ان پہ کریک ڈاؤن کیا جاتا ہے, فائرنگ, آنسو گیس شیلنگ, لوگوں کو مارتے ہیں. کل بھی ایک نوجوان فائرنگ سے زخمی ہوا ہے. یعنی جو فائرنگ سے صرف زخمی ہیں وہ ان کی بہت بڑی تعداد ہے. باقی تو اب چھوڑے کہ لاٹھی چارج وغیرہ ہوتی ہیں. کل پھر وہاں پر کراچی میں بھی یہی ہوا, دال بندی میں تربت میں 2 نوجوان فائرنگ سے زخمی ہوئے. اب چوکی میں یہی معاملہ تھا. تو پہلے تو اس بات پہ آتے ہیں کہ جو بلوچ اقلیتی کمیٹی ہے کانسٹیٹیوشن کے اندر رہ کر ڈیمانڈز ان کی, یہ ایک طریقے سے ان کے لوگ کہتے ہیں کہ بلوچ پرامن جو ہے طریقے سے حقوق نہیں مانتے ہیں, اپنی جو ڈیمانڈز نہیں رکھتے ہیں. تو پھر خواتین اور بچے اکثریت ان میں یہی ہے, وہ پروٹیسٹ کر رہے ہیں, ان پہ گولیاں برسائی جاتی ہیں. ہاں, بلوچستان میں بہت پہلے سے اس چیز کو رد کیا جا چکا ہے, ریجیکٹ کیا جا چکا ہے کہ بلوچستان پاکستان کے فریم ورک میں حقوق حاصل نہیں کیے جا سکتے ہیں. نواب مری نے پہلے ہی ڈکلیئر کر دیا تھا کہ بلوچستان کے اندر پاکستان کے اندر ہمارے مسائل حل نہیں ہو سکتے ہیں کہ ہم پارلیمنٹ میں جائے. وہ جا چکے تھے, جو
بہت بات جا چکے ہو.
ہاں 70s کے جو دائی میں وہ جا چکے ہیں. ان کی حکومت تھی, پھر کس طرح ان کی حکومت کو ختم کیا گیا, کیسز لگائے گئے مختلف طریقوں سے. جو ہمارے اکابرین تھے, سردار عطا اللہ مینگل, نواب خیر بخش مری, جو دوسرے تھے, ان سب کو ان چیزوں سے گزر چکے تھے. بلوچستان میں یہی کہا جاتا ہے کہ پارلیمنٹ میں بالکل حقوق حاصل نہیں کی جا سکتی ہیں. صرف وہی لوگ جاتے ہیں جو جن کے الگ مفادات ہوتے ہیں. یہاں پر الیکشنز بھی نہیں ہوتے ہیں, یہاں سلیکشن ہوتی ہے. اس بار تو بالکل الگ طریقے سے سلیکشن ہوئی ہے بلوچستان میں. فارم 45 47 اس طرح کا کچھ.
ہاں, وہ تو پورا پاکستان میں یہ پرابلم تھا کہ یہ تو پورا پاکستان میں ہی سلیکشن ہوا ہے, ایک صرف بلوچستان میں ہی, پورا پاکستان میں ہی سلیکشن ہوا ہے.
دیکھیے بلوچستان میں جو حالات ہے آپ دیکھ چکے ہیں کہ جعفر ایکسپریس پر حملہ ہوتا ہے, نوش کی, پھر پچھلے سال بڑی نوعیت کے میں عملوں کا کہہ رہا ہوں. ابھی تو کلات کا میں نے 2 عملوں کا ذکر کیا, شاید کسی کو معلوم بھی نہ ہو کہ وہ اس طرح کے عملے بھی ہوتے ہیں کہ ان کے ہتھیاروں پر قبضہ کرتے ہیں, ان کے کیمپس پر قبضہ کرتے ہیں. بلوچستان میں جو بڑے عملے ہوئے ہیں صرف گزشتہ 2 سالوں میں یا اس سال, تو بہت سی تبدیلیاں دیکھنے میں آئی ہیں کہ بلوچ جو ملیٹنٹس ہیں ان کی اسٹریٹجیز تبدیل ہو چکی ہیں, ان کے طریقہ کار تبدیل ہو چکے ہیں, ان کے پالیسیز چینج ہو چکے ہیں. پالیسیز یعنی آزادی کے حوالے سے انہوں نے اس میں کچھ چیزیں ایڈ کی ہیں کہ کس طرح میں لینی ہے. سب اسی جنگ کے اثرات ہے کہ لوگ اتنے بڑے پیمانے پر نکلتے ہیں, احتجاج وغیرہ کرتے ہیں. وہ دیکھتے ہیں کہ ہمارے لوگ جا رہے ہیں, فدائین بن رہے ہیں, بی ایل اے مجید بریگیڈ کا حصہ بن رہے ہیں, خواتین بریگیڈ کا حصہ بن رہے ہیں, تو پھر ہم لاٹھیاں کیسے نہیں کھا سکتے ہیں. تو اسی وجہ سے جو شفٹ آئی ہے پورے بلوچ تحریک میں جنگ کے حوالے سے. باقی ڈیپینڈ, میں بہت سی جگہوں پر مجھے پوچھا جاتا ہے, میں یہی کہتا ہوں وہی ڈیپینڈ کرتا ہے بلوچ کی جو لیڈرشپ ہے, وہ بی ایل اے ہو یا کہ دوسرے ہو یا کہ پولیٹیکل حوالے سے جو ماس پارٹیز ہے جو گراؤنڈ پر پالیٹکس کرتے ہیں, ان پہ ڈیپینڈ کرتا ہے کیسے لے جاتے ہیں ان چیزوں کو. پاکستان کے حوالے سے پاکستان دیوالیہ ہو چکا ہے, معاشی حوالے سے بالکل تباہ ہو چکی ہے. یہ صرف قرضوں پہ چل رہی, نہ صرف آج بلکہ کئی سالوں سے قرضوں پر چل رہی ہے. چائنا کے قرضے آپ دیکھیے, دوسرے ممالک کے دیکھیے, پھر کئی پر ان پہ خیرات کے حوالے سے دی جاتی ہیں کہ مدد کے نام پر. تو صرف گزارا کر رہے ہیں. باقی بلوچستان کے جو کچھ ہے لوٹ رہے ہیں, چائنا کے پاس جا رہے ہیں, ان کو بینیفٹس ہے کہ مینز یہاں پر شو کچھ اور کیا جاتا ہے کہ اتنے وسائل لے جائے گئے ہیں, لیکن لے جایا جاتا ہے بہت زیادہ. تو پاکستان ٹوٹنے کے بالکل گگر پر ہے. ابھی ڈیپینڈ کرتا ہے جو اس کو توڑنا چاہتے ہیں یا کہ علیحدہ ہونا چاہتے ہیں, ان پہ ڈیپینڈ کرتا ہے کہ وہ خود کو کتنا منظم کرتے ہیں.
Right. So what does he say? He says Pakistan ٹوٹنے کے گگن پہ ہے. Right. So Pakistan دیوالیہ ہے and all those. And we'll come to that. There's nothing. Right. Now we have to understand this entire story of Baluchistan. What is happening there? You know, there are 3 parts to this protest. So can we have the slide back, please? Yeah. See, there are 3 protests going on and movements going on in Baluchistan. One is BLA, BLF or the brass, right? BRAS is the mother organization of all the militant or the armed rebels out there. Second is the BYC or the Baloch Exjati Committee, which is led by Maharang Baloch. It's a human rights movement. Where the BLA asks for independence and secession from Pakistan, BYC wants its rights within the constitution of Pakistan. That's what everyone has said so far. They have not asked for independence. Then there's a third movement called Gwadar Ko Hak, which is only at Gwadar. It is protesting against the fact that there are too many Chinese out there, and we need our things from Gwadar, because people along that Gwadar coast are all fishermen. Their fishing rights are gone, and they're not getting benefit of water. Development is happening in Gwadar. They are also within the constitutional thing. Now, the fact is that the Pakistan army doesn't believe so. Now, what has happened is, after this Jaffar Express and this attack and the Noshki attack, BLA has struck at the Pakistan army. Pakistan army cannot retaliate back because they have vanished into the hills. So, Pakistan army has hit Baluch Exjati Committee, who they feel are part of BLA or the front face of BLA, which is not so. But by this action of Pakistan army, they're closing this gap. They're pushing all these ladies towards BLA. Okay. Now, this was the status 3 days back. But now the things have changed. I'll come to that a little later. Okay. Now, what has happened is, Pakistan army immediately, about 4 days back, they went and, there were 3 dead bodies were uncovered somewhere near Quetta. When those dead bodies were brought to the, morgue, all these ladies went and did sit-ins and dharna and all that. The moment that happened, they picked up Maharang Baloch. And then 1 day later, they picked up Samidin Baluch. The one on the right is Samidin Baluch. Now, these 2 ladies are the spearheads of this movement. I mean, you just think, there's no male leader. The biggest leader is Maharang Baloch, and Maharang Baloch is in Quetta jail. And she's allowed to meet people, but she's in a bad shape, as reports her sister says in tweets. We don't know. But I can tell you one thing. If she doesn't come out alive of Quetta jail, you can be rest assured Baluchistan will become a country. She is that kind of an icon. That's the status. Now, Pakistan army is playing with fire, because if she's not well and she dies something and all, that's the end of that story. But then that's where it is. She's still in jail. And Samidin is somewhere in Karachi. She's being in and out. She got in, she was arrested, she took bail, came out, she was arrested. The normal thing, how it goes on. But these ladies, it's a ladies' movement. That's the interesting part. Look at this. On the street. So you just see the girls, the children, and they're all taking that photograph of Maharang Baloch and saying, free her. And I can get you today, if you go on X or you go on to any social media site, you will get hundreds of such films where ladies are protesting all over Baluchistan. And they're also protesting for enforced justice. So, like I said, this is a movement being spearheaded by ladies in villages and everywhere in Baluchistan. Okay, now where does this go next? Yesterday, today's 28th, yesterday, Sree, when he and I decided that we should do this, there were only 17 attacks. Actually, yesterday they've carried out 48 attacks. And this is the statement which the BRAS has put out. Balut Rajoy Aral Committee Samiti. Okay? They've claimed responsibility for, see that Baluch, Raji, Ajoy, Sangad. That's brass. Okay. They've claimed attack for 48 attacks. And virtually in all districts of Baluchistan, they've carried out attacks. And there's no response. Pakistan has not been able to respond so far. Will they respond? We'll see. This is the places. The thing is, see the number of places where they've attacked. All over. Okay? This is a map. And who has put it out? They have put it out. They've got a fantastic information campaign, public opinion campaign going on. If you see some of their clips which are out, go to BLA site and or the Baluchistan Post site and see. They're super. Okay. They are just flooding, and anyone who sees it will say, yeah, this is truth. Okay. These chaps have become very sophisticated in their attacks. Now, to carry out 48 attacks in 24 hours is not a joke. It's not a joke at all. It takes a lot of coordination. It takes a lot of sophistication. I told you earlier, they're very well trained, very well educated, as a result, very well equipped. How they're getting money is $1 million question, because India is not supporting them. When I have spoken to all of them, they say, sir, आपसे हमें पैसा नहीं चाहिए, training नहीं चाहिए, कुछ नहीं चाहिए. I asked that chap, how can I help you? Not only him, I've asked others also. They all say, sir, just put what you have to in your channel and put it from your heart. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm putting it from my heart. This is a fact. Their campaign info is slick. The most important thing in this whole story, the people are with them. Just think, there's a Jaffar Express attack, Noshki attack on security forces. Then security forces retaliate by killing 2-3 people somewhere. There's a woman's sit-in. People are lifted 4 days. Then Maharang Baloch is in jail. 5th day, they come out. These chaps carry out a sophisticated attack all over the countryside. Just see the coordination which is going on. It's not simple. This chap is Akthar Mengal. Now, Akthar Mengal is probably he was also once upon a time a chief minister, and he's from one of those Sardars, Mengal tribe ka. He was also chief minister of Pakistan. He was also a MNA. At some point of time, he was part of the Pakistan government also. And, you ask the guy on the street, he will say Mengal is from the, Pakistan side. You ask the Pakistanis, they'll say Mengal is a Baluch who can't be trusted. In a way, I told this yesterday also, he's like that Garka Kutta. Not Garka, Dobi ka Kutta.
Dobi ka Kutta.
But then, he switched sides now. He's very clear. I have listened to him 2-3 places. He's very clear, and he now is this thing. See what he has put out in a tweet. He put out this tweet 4 days back, or 1 week back. He says, there is no area left in Baluchistan where the government can claim to be in control. This is what Maulana Fazlur Rahman also said. I showed you that clip. They have lost this war. This story is over. Today, I would like to use this opportunity to address all those, the federal government, political parties, judiciary, establishment, who have brought Baluchistan to this path with their oppression and abuses. But this time, it is neither in your control nor yours. It's not in anyone's control. The people are taken control of this moment. That is the depth of feeling which is there. Now, this guy has now conclusively, at least what it appears, has switched sides to the people of Baluchistan. What did he say? आज तक हमने जो बोला, हम अवाम मेरे पीछे था, अवाम ने हमें आगे धकेला. आज अवाम किसी और रास्ते में जा रहा है. हमें कोई, I don't have a choice but to be with them. I have to be with my people. He said this 2-3 times. I've heard it. Okay. What next? He's made a long march. This long march is going, he started, it actually started today. The long march halfway is done somewhere. He started from a place called Wad to Quetta. So he's carried out, and why is he? He's demanding the release of Maharang Baloch and Samidin Baloch. And of course, others, all that. And he's very clearly said, and withdrawal of false cases against them by Pakistani military intelligence agencies. He's implicated Pakistan military completely in this story. Now it's public. Okay. Now this is a clip you see of his long march. There's no voice in this, but you'll see, lettering coming up. Yeah, read this. It says Sardar Akthar Mengal's long march has set off from Vad towards Quetta with other activists. Hundreds of vehicles crawl along the road with thousands making a 400-kilometer journey. They finished about 150 kilometers of this. The protesters have condemned the mistreatment and arrest of Baluch Exjati committee leaders. Okay, that's Maharang Baloch and Samidin and other activities who've been arrested. A whole lot of them are arrested, no one knows how many. Okay, Sardar Akthar Mengal said that the government wants to enforce its authority by oppressing Baluch. He's called for immediate release, saying state should fight armed groups, not oppress unarmed women. Yeah. So all this is there. Now all petrol pumps in that area have been shut down. Mobile networks down. So virtually whatever is coming, I don't know how it's coming, but people are able to put it and they've sent it to me. They said, please show it. So I'm showing it. So I would request all of you who are watching this, please show it to your friends. Okay. Now let's look at the Chinese interests out here, which is very important in the long run as it comes out, because that won't get... We all know China wants to have a base at Gwadar. They already have a base at Djibouti. They already have a base at Karachi. Okay. Now, Gwadar is supposed to be China's first overseas theater command headquarters. And it has to have it. They intend to have China's second strike capability out here. Now, this is in the middle of the Baluch movement today. I've done a complete video on Gwadar. Please go to Gunnershot and just say Gwadar and you'll get that video. I will not spend my time on this because today we are talking about Baluch issue. Okay. Now, the people are so worried now that the Chinese have started deploying security forces in Pakistan. They put their private military contractors. 2 months back, Zhang Yuxia, who's the vice chairman of the CMC, came to Pakistan. He met Asim Munir, and they discussed the issue of putting private security contractors in Pakistan. Pakistan army refused, but there were private security contractors on Gwadar guarding the Gwadar port per se, but not on the mainland. But now the report is that they have started being deployed on the mainland. So this complicates things. Will the Chinese come out and fight these boys? How much we'll know. I do hope a few Chinese get bumped off and then the fat will be really in fire, and it will happen. It's a matter of time. Unless, of course, someone says, no, none of these Chinese chaps are there and they've made a fast exit. As the situation becomes worse, the Chinese might make a fast exit because the Chinese don't have the capacity to handle this. When the Pakistanis don't have a capacity to handle it, how these piggy Chinese will have a capacity to handle this? These pigs won't know what to do. But then, be that as it may, that's the status at this point of time. Now, Pakistan has existential problems, 6 existential problems. Please understand. From the top, it has a political crisis. Till such time, Imran Khan, who believes himself to be a Nelson Mandela, who is in jail, they have a problem. Okay? And this government is all fake government. There's it's not a legitimate government. It's being propped up by the army. Okay. I'll come to the army a little later. There's a problem there. Second, its economy is indebted. That's what that fellow also said. Bahut Baloch. Ek karzon pe chal raha hai, bas. That's it. It's running on empty. Then Pakistan has hostile neighbors. Neither, Afghanistan. These chaps went and said shackles of slavery have been broken, and only for Pakistan to get back into the shackles of slavery. And remember, there's an old saying: if you want to control that Pashtun area, you have to control Kabul, and Kabul will never be in control of Pakistan. So that Pashtun area is out. But I will talk of that later. But the hidden existential crisis is water. Pakistan doesn't have water today. The the Mangla Dam and the Tarbela Dam are at dead water levels. And it's only March. What is dead water level? There's no storage in the dam. Whatever water comes can go downstream for irrigation. Normally, a dam is supposed to have water so that if there's no water coming from the top, it's supposed to release. Isme nahi hai pani. It's silted to that level, right? And already the last watering of the wheat crop has not been done. So you're going to have a crop which is not there. All the fruit orchards and all are going past. And water has come up Indus. The salinity in Indus. The mangroves are getting destroyed. I mean, that is a gone case. Forget about tomorrow, day after, all that. It's already, in a state of absolute water scarcity today. And that absolute water scarcity is going to hit them 3 months from now. There are going to be internal problems in Pakistan for water. I'm predicting it today. Why? Because the great Pakistan army, they built 6 canals from Indus into the Cholistan desert to carry out corporatized farming. Who's the corporate who's doing farming? It's the Pakistan army. So already Sindh is up in arms. How can you take off water when we don't have water? So water is the werewolf of Pakistan. That's why I kept it at the bottom. It's going to eat up Pakistan from underneath. And then, of course, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Today, there has been an attack in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa where 3 people have died. Every day in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan is losing 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 people. Every day. Baluchistan is what we have seen. Is there a case where Pakistan has not lived with at any one time 1 or 2 problems? No. It's always lived with that. But what's different? What you heard so far? Baluchistan. The state in Baluchistan is pretty bad. That is why Chinese have come and put their private security contractors. So this is it. What about this great character? There is dissent within the army. There's someone has said Pakistan army, including colonels and majors, demand COS General Asim Munir's resignation, accusing him of power abuse and undermining democracy. He says one of the most corrupt armies in the world. This is not Airy Gary, one guy. There are already hundreds of this. I just picked up one chap. This Mohammed Amin, I don't even know who he is, who's put this tweet out. But there are so many people who put such tweets. So there is internal dissent within Pakistan army. And if Pakistan army something happens, thank you. Pakistan, thank you. Then India has to look at something else. But then we'll talk of that a little later. This is Hamid Mir. Those of you who don't know Hamid Mir, he owns GeoTV. And, he is the guy who went and spoke to Osama bin Laden also. Okay, at one point of time. He was the go-between between then American forces and Pakistani forces and Mujahideen and all and Osama bin Laden. Then, when Osama bin Laden was America's blue-eyed boy. Now, what does he say? Very important, interesting. Listen to him.
मंडी में जो बैठे हुए हैं पॉलिसी मेकर्स, ये चले मेरे साथ, इनको मैं लेके चलता हूँ. ये अटक का पुल क्रॉस करें खैबर पख्तूनख्वा में, बन्नू टीआई खान में असर के बाद जाकर दिखाएं मुझे किसी सड़क पे. चैलेंज है मेरा, असर के बाद, मगरिब के बाद नहीं, असर के बाद किसी सड़क पे निकल के दिखाएं मुझे. और ये पुलिस के साथ भी नहीं जा सकते. ये जितने भी बड़े बड़े पॉलिसी मेकर्स है ना, अपने आप को बड़े फने खान समझते हैं. ये चले मेरे साथ बलूचिस्तान में, और जो हब से जो खुशदार को सड़क जाती है, वहां पे मुझे ये मगरिब के बाद चल के दिखाएं वहां पे, और किसी पेट्रोल पंप पे खड़े होकर चाय पी के दिखाएं मुझे. और ये जो हमारे बड़े बड़े वुज़रा साहबान है ना, जो कहते हैं पाकिस्तान में सब कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है, और बहुत बड़े बड़े हमारे जो मीडिया के लोग हैं जो आजकल इस हुकूमत की तारीफ में जमीन व आसमान के किलाबे मिलाते हैं, ये जाके दिखाएं ना मुझे इन सब इलाकों में, और वहां पे जाके इसकी तारीफ करके दिखाएं मुझे शहबाज शरीफ साहब की हुकूमत की.
Yeah, so this is what Hamid Mir says, and he says जाके दिखाओ. The fact of the matter is, you know what? Very interesting. Baluchistan army, the Baluch people own the night. Pakistan army and the Pakistan state doesn't function at night outside their houses. in Baluchistan. Okay, now again you will say, yeah, ये general साहब बोल रहा है.
पिंडी में जो बैठ
Okay. Wait, okay. Now this fellow is a MNA, a Baluch MNA. Here what he says, I go to one place to the other and I come back by helicopter. And someone asks him, यार why don't you do that? कहता है यार ये पाकिस्तान है, रात को कोई सी चल सकता है. You hear him and you'll see he's a he's an elected member or the selected member. ये देख.
अभी मैं पता है डर के बारे में भाग के इधर से गया हूँ. कल आज पूरा को मैंने फुलवारी इधर भाग के गया हूँ, जहाज में वापस आया. सर वो भी अपने जिला का देखो, हमेशा बशीर देव का होता है, हमारे एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसीज का नहीं होता. एफसी की होती है, नेवी की इतनी कैपेसिटी नहीं है, पुलिस की भी इतनी कैपेसिटी नहीं है. जिला गश्त हमें ये होता, बचपन से सुनते थे बस एसी साहब कहाँ गए, जिला गश्त हमेशा बशीर देव के साथ नहीं होता है. उससे दरख्वास्त है, हम बलोच है. मैं जब भी अगर मैं इनके हाथे छोड़ो मेहरबानी करके अपने तो अपने कमांडर भेज दे कि बलोच की इज्जत जाने. तो जाकर लेडी को किसी का सजा दी कि सरफराज साहब की काबीना में और पार्लिमानी सियासत करते. बशीर देव हमें मारते हैं, हम पार्लिमानी सियासत करते हैं. किसी बोलते बंदूक नहीं चाहिए हमारे पास, तो बंदूक नहीं उठाएंगे, हमें गुंजाइश नहीं बंदूक, आप बंदूक उठा भी नहीं सकते जबरदस्ती. सरकार हमें बोलते हैं बशीर देव के खाते में. वो तो मैंने कहा कि जीआईटी मेरे खिलाफ बना दो, उसका तो हो जाएगा. लेकिन आजकल गवर्नमेंट रिट बशीर देव साहब की है, डॉक्टर अल्लाह नजर साहब की है. हमें उससे दरख्वास्त, कभी हम उसके साथ खाते चढ़े तो मुझे झूठी गोली मार दीजिएगा. जैसे मुझे आइडेंटिफाई जफरुल्लाह देवी मुझे गोली मारे, इससे बेहतर है कि मैं रिजिस्ट करूं, मैं अपने बच्चे को बलोच को गोली मारो, उधर देखो मुझे मारा, सबसे पहले मुझे गोली मार दीजिए, मेरे बंदूक नीचे.
सर कितने फीसद इलाके जो है वो इस वक्त हुकूमत की कंट्रोल में है?
आपके सामने भाई, आपके सामने भाई. अब रात को चलो ना गिरी वजीर को बोलो घूमे, मैं खुद घूम नहीं सकता, जहाज में आओ मेरे भाई से. कितने फीसद को क्या फीसद? ये मगरब पे हमला करते हैं, फिर मशरक पे हमला करते हैं, शुमाल में करते हैं, फिर जुनूब पे करते हैं. इतने बड़े बलूचिस्तान में फीसद देखिए ना, आधा पाकिस्तान में.
You see what he says is इतने बड़े पाकिस्तान में हम कहीं नहीं जा सकते. Okay, right. Now the point is this. You see, in the past 1 week, there's a convergence of the political, the military or the rebel, and the human rights activists, which was not there earlier. There's a convergence. There's a synergy developing. As it is, you heard Hamid Mir saying, "Raat ko chale jao, one chai pi lo." That's the status today. Pakistan army has to go in great strength to overcome this. What can Pakistan army do? What Pakistan army done has so far has gone and they've picked up children, war and all that. They're only worsening the situation. Will they carry out attacks against the armed people? They're not able to do. Because they're disappearing in the wind in the hills. And Pakistan army is not capable of doing it. They're not giving them a target. If Pakistan army is given a target, they'll get gunships, and use disproportionate power and make this situation even worse. Okay? So the situation is that today, if you see the sum total of what I have presented to you people, that the political system of within Baluchistan, headed by Akthar Mengal. Akthar Mengal has got good following. In fact, he's done some distance. Tomorrow he's going to resume that march. They've done so far some feeble attempts at stopping that march. They've not been able to stop. But Pakistan won't bother because he's only going up to Quetta. But by doing this from Wat to Quetta, he's going to integrate the Baluch people. And if Maharang Baloch continues in jail, and there's a problem. If anything happens to her in a jail, there's a bigger problem. And all this while BLA is doing what it wants. Complete Hindi में अगर बोलो, Pakistan army napunsak हो गया है. That's the word, napunsak, the best word to describe them. Right? There is no political outreach because they don't have one. Now, to say, will Baluchistan get independence from here is a question mark. I don't know. Till yesterday, I thought they might not get. But if you see this kind of a convergence, might happen. People will say, oh, sparse areas. Saudi Arabia is also a sparse area. There's a kingdom of Saudi Arabia there. Okay? There are so many places which are sparse in population, but they have their own state. Right. Now, We don't know whether Pakistan will break up and how it will break up and what do we do? How do we help the Baluch people? These are all questions up in the air. I'm going to discuss this on Ghana Short next week with some people. Look, what's going to happen if Pakistan goes? What do you do with the nuclear weapons? What do you do with anything? Right? At this point of time, I'm also not sure what's going to happen. So I thought I put all this. I'm sure Sree will have some questions before he, others come into the fray. I'd request all of you, don't do this for me. Don't do this for Sree. For the sake of the Baluch people, if you have anything for them, send this video to every friend and tell him to waste his 1 hour understanding what's happening. You people keep telling me, sir, Pakistan के ऊपर कब्जा होने वाला है. Just think what will happen if Baluchistan goes free. Okay, what is happening in Baluchistan free में हो रहा है हमारे लिए from an Indian perspective. What do we have to do? ये तो सोचो, बहुत दूर मत सोचना. ठीक है? And send it to everyone. If you like this video, like it. I mean, put that thumb impression both in Ghana Short and in P Gurus. And you do us a personal favor. If you've so far watched this in Ghana Short, switch to P Gurus and watch it. And if you've so far watched it in P Gurus, switch to Ghana Short and watch it. So that at least by the algorithm of YouTube, this video will get more views and people will see it. Yeah.
Very, very good idea, sir. Very good idea. That will really help both of us. Look, what is it? At the end of the day, we are human beings first. And look at the inhumanity being expressed. Sir, of all these generals who have ruled Pakistan, I think Musharraf was the worst offender in terms of how he treated the Baloch, isn't it?
Yes. There's no doubt on that. There's no doubt on that. He in fact, I would say everyone. Everyone is in this got the same tar brush, whether it's Musharraf or Musharraf was the one who got Bukti killed. He's an 80-year-old man, and mind you, who was Bukti? This is in 2005. Who was Bukti? Bukti was once the chief minister of Baluchistan. Bukti was once the defense minister of Pakistan. When he felt his things were not good, he said, "I'm taking up arms. I'm taking up arms so that my people are free." He got him killed. There's no political outreach. Incidentally, whatever Baluchistan produces from its copper mines and gold mines and gas, right? The Baluch people get 2 to 5%. The balances goes out. Sree gas field was one of the biggest gas fields in this part of the world, in the subcontinent, when it came about some 40-50 years back. Baluchistan. The Sree gas pipe gives gas to Karachi till date, but not to Balochistan. I mean, this is why wouldn't they feel unhappy? And then you look at Gwadar. Gwadar and that entire coast is full of good fish. These Chinese chaps have come and finished their livelihood. Okay, and they want to get nuclear submarines, all that nonsense. So there's a big problem, and we have a big problem to see how we're going to take it forward, whichever way we have to.